Alright gang, welcome back to our vintage survival, and it is October. I had planned to do something a little bit different with the two fields that we plowed recently, but have yet to drill. Had a bit of a change of heart there. We are going to drill them today. We're going to put barley in those. I know it's pretty much the same thing we've been doing is, wheat, barley, and canola, but I still want to put it in. I don't want to go the whole season without putting something in those fields. It just seems a little bit wasteful when we need the money. So my idea of what I wanted to do on those, we'll just postpone it for a brief period of time, and get something in the fields here today. So we do need to get some fertilizer, though. We have a very small amount of solid fertilizer in our fertilizer spreader. It would likely not be enough to do the fields. So because of that reason, we're going to go up to the shop here. We're going to purchase some more, and then we can go ahead and get started. I'll just do one. One should be plenty for the time being. We'll probably have to come back up here again and get more, but that's alright if we do. Oop. Open up the right flap there, Z. Come on, buddy. Now, we're probably going to have to come back here. And yeah, we're going to have to come back here and either pick up that pallet or fill it up with another implement, whether it's the drill here or the fertilizer spreader, but that's okay. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you're all doing well. Things are relatively good here, all things considered. I do believe I had kind of been doing an alternation of the one-tile challenge in this series, and then sprinkling in, obviously, the Barker Family Farm series whenever I had the time to do it. Yesterday, I think I screwed that up a little bit. I think we had a back-to-back one-tile challenge, but this one I had to do, kind of had to restart it. I started recording it, and then the game crashed on me. So, due to that reason, I was starting to run out of time a little bit, and so I just decided let's put the one-tile challenge up. I did not have it edited at all, but I had it recorded, so then I would just spend some time editing, and that's why it was, at least if you're a member, that's why it was out so late yesterday for you to watch early. Speaking of that, you want to become a member, there's a link down below in the description. You get early access to videos like this one. It'd probably be good if I actually turned on the correct crop. And we are underway. There's a couple contracts out there for us to do today. I'm not sure which one we will do. I'm sure we will do at least one, because we only have 2 fields to drill. So this is going to take a little bit of time, but it's not going to take us a ton of time by any means. So we will need to do some more contracts. Realistically, I'd like to get us back to 10 grand again. I want to get more than that, but if we can at least get ourselves back to 10 grand, basically pay for the solid fertilizer we just bought, I'll be pretty happy for today's episode. More contracts are going to be coming here. That's the winter seasons, right? There might be a situation again where we might have to just skip a month or two because, well, I don't want to do a video just to do a video if there's no contracts out there that we can do and there's nothing for us to do. Seems a little counterintuitive to do that. It's not a specific challenge per se, as I've mentioned a number of times, so we are allowed to do that. I try not to do that no matter what. But for this series, I'm not just going to do it not going to do a video just to do a video. That just, it's not the purpose. The purpose of this one is a little bit more of a relaxed series of utilizing old equipment and limiting ourselves to utilizing only, old equipment and seeing how we get along. I did run a little bit of a test, I guess, on some of these buildings in here. So if I was to buy this land here, the buildings, some buildings they let you remove and other ones they don't, which is less than ideal, honestly. That means we won't really be able to purchase one of these lands that have some faux buildings, if you will, and remove them and put down other sheds or whatever. We can't even do that on a lot of the land. So a little unfortunate. I wish that was a possibility. I wish it was, you could remove any building you wanted. It's a little bit more of a free roam, use your imagination approach that way, but unfortunately that's not the case on the map. There's the main starting farm, I guess, if you will, where you can remove a lot of that. You can't remove everything, but you can remove a lot. But that's pretty much it. Some other pieces have a few spots where you can remove maybe one shed or whatever it may be. It may be the house, whatever it is. But other than that, very, very limited. So, example, I'd love to buy this land or this, faux shed is right here, and remove it, and then make this a more unified, squared off field. But that's not possible. You're not allowed to remove it. So that building there, or shed, whatever you want to call it, will have to stay, and there's really no reason for us to buy that land. So we're clearing in barley. I've talked a little bit about, well, I guess I can spoil it now. In the one-tile challenge, I literally just put in a windmill mill. It's probably one of the cheapest mills you can get in the game. It really would make a whole lot of sense for this series, but that series we also need to get a mill down, and there really wasn't anything else that was reasonably priced. There are 3 different options. I decided to go with the cheapest option in the one-tile challenge, just based off of the current situation that we're in there with money constraints. Although, you know, a couple months from now it won't be too bad, but I wanted to get that down, so because we were going to get ready to do the harvest in that series in the next episode, so I wanted to get that down so we could actually start producing some products versus just selling that outright and not having to wait. We'll see what we can figure out for this series, because I've mentioned it also in this series. I'd like to get a mill. I mean, especially right now, because all we're really doing is canolas and wheats and etc., right? Hopefully soon we'll be able to get a planter and we can start doing some sunflowers and some corn and things like that. But and really, maybe if we can find something, I'd like to do some root crops like beets and things like that. But I really haven't seen anything yet that resembles any sort of old beet drill. So goes back to kind of what we've all mentioned, and everyone has pretty much agreed about it, so I'm very happy that everyone's been agreeable, is that, you know, if there's nothing around, as long as it's close, you could utilize it as this is a prototype for the 2000s, right? Which makes a lot of sense. I don't want to do it too much, though. It might just be, you know, remove the whole point of the series, but I'm definitely on board for that strategy, for that approach, I guess that's how I should say it. At least until something pops out on ModHub. If something comes out on ModHub, then we would have to obviously deviate from that approach and go get whatever that is. We want to be trying to stay as true as possible here to the series of being a vintage. And some people might say, well, if it's an early 2000, it could still be vintage. That's 25 years old. You're right, it is 25 years old, but my initial specific rules for the series was, you know, 1999 or older. It has to be from the 90s or older. But you're right, if it was 2000, 2001, 2002, even 3, I guess, you could still consider that to be vintage, right? That's 20 plus years old. Anyway, we're moving along here. We just have this field to do. We already got the other one done, and when we get down here to the end, this field's always the most difficult to do, just based off of where it is, with the fields here and then the water, or the creek here. It's always the most difficult to maneuver around. So once we get this kind of set up a little bit, I'm going to show you some of the contracts that we have to our availability, I guess, or contracts that are available for us to choose between here. There's not many, actually. I'll do a quick autosave here. That's probably a good thing to do since I haven't saved yet, and I told you that the game crashed on me last time I started doing this recording. We've got quite a few, though. We can do this fertilizing contract, which we will do, I'm sure. There is a harvesting contract that is a large harvesting contract, but there is a harvesting contract nonetheless that actually just popped out. 12,500, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, but that's going to be a lot of trips. We'll have to utilize a worker probably too. There's a plowing contract, which is big, but we can do that one. We can do it. It won't be terrible. And then there's a sowing contract, which I feel like that's easy money, although it's you know, you're not making that much money really. But with how wide our actual drill is, I think we could easily do it. So we might do that. We might pick that one up, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. But there's quite a few options for us to choose from. That sunflower one that came out is very enticing, man. But I feel like we'd have an hour and a half episode, if not more. Our harvester's not very big for sunflower. Our header's not very big for sunflowers, and our trailer is very small indeed. So it would be a lot of trips back and forth, and we would have to figure out a worker situation there. We haven't really utilized a worker much at all, as a matter of fact. So I've been trying to kind of stay away from that because, you know, I just have. I don't really want to utilize a worker unless I have to. Right now, we're able to manage everything that we have to do without utilizing a worker, but when we started doing that, we would. So if we were to go that approach and do that contract, we would lose a little bit of money based off of utilizing a worker, right? But that's 15 grand. That's a lot of money. Would love to have a bigger header for the harvester there, but there's not really anything from the 90s out there that I've been able to find yet. And since that header that we currently have is from the 90s, we've got to kind of stick with it. That's the rules. All right, one little tiny strip here in this field is done. And we can go take this back, and then we'll figure out what contract we're going to do here. First, actually, as a matter of fact, we'll probably do that sowing contract, because why not? We might as well. We already have the drill and everything hooked up. There's really no reason not to do that one. So let's go ahead and grab that. Pretty far away, so maybe not really worth it in the long run, but we'll do it. And then I'm going to grab the fertilizing contract too before it goes away, because that's an easy one for us to do. The plowing one, I'm thinking yes. I'll hold off on it for now. Our plow is nice. I like our plow a lot, but it is not a very big width. It is a very small width. So that's another thing that would take us a long time, right? So if we're going to do the plowing, I feel like it's almost worth us just to consider doing the harvesting, right? I don't know. We'll have to think about it a little bit more. Maybe we need to put down a greenhouse today too, if at all possible. I don't know where we're going to put it. We don't have a whole lot of room, if I'm honest with you, on our yard area. We really don't. But a greenhouse would make us some constant income, which is something we desperately need right now. We don't have any constant income at all right now. The only income we have is whenever we harvest, sell, or do a contract. So, yeah, we probably should look into, at a bare minimum, putting down a greenhouse. We don't have a whole lot of money, though. That's the problem, right? A greenhouse is not really cheap. There are a couple of them out there that are cheap. The one that I did install, it's a mod, and it would look like something from the 90s. It's it's massive. It's very long. We utilized it in the Survive 25 series, which we have put on pause and haven't done for a while, but nonetheless, we were utilizing it there in our greenhouse farm production. Very long, foil. It's $5 grand, I think. We don't really have the room for that at current. We simply do not. Oh, there's a fence here. Ooh. How much further we got to go here? All the way down the very end of the map. Okay. Well, let's get this field done. We'll see. We'll get the field done, bring this back. We'll get the fertilizer spreader out, do the fertilizer spreading, and we'll see where we are. Then we'll kind of decide on if we're going to do the plowing contract, the harvesting contract, or something else. Okay, that's all done, and I'm sure a lot of you in the ready to type the keyboards and yell at me, you forgot to remove the fertilizer, you wasted a bunch, you ended up spending more money than that contract made you. Haha, yourself. I did remember, took out the fertilizer, and just put down the seed, which is all that required. So, thankfully, I did remember that, because I probably would forget that a lot of the times, but I didn't. Alright, so we got a little bit of money back. We're pretty much back to where we started. We've got another harvesting contract out here, but although these are harvesting contracts we cannot do, this one can be done. This is the big one. Speaking of that, where we were for the fertilizing contract, field 60, wherever that was, I got to figure out where the heck I was at. Here it is. I really, really like where this field is. I liked... Oh, here's field 60. Sorry, field 60 here. I really liked the entryway here, and then going back through here behind this area. There's a little bit of a bridge here to come across to these. I really, really like that a lot. I'd love to move our farm operation here. I don't think... I guess you can purchase it. I don't know. It's $180,000. We're not going to have anywhere near that for a while, but I wonder... I'm going to visit it really quick. I'm assuming that I can't remove any of these buildings either, but... normally it'll see if it'll highlight it. See how that highlights? So that means I can remove that. I can remove these. But I suspect I can't remove most of this. Oh, I can remove all of this. Okay. Well, I think we found ourselves where our main goal here for this series. I remember I said I wanted to really expand and get a very big farm set up and a lot of fields. This is what I want to do. I kind of want to own this. I almost want to own this area and then turn this into a field, kind of expand this field and make our yard back here, because I just really like the entryway into here. I like it a lot. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get a lot bigger machines it's going to be a long time before we get to this point, but I think this is something good that we can kind of go for, right? It's a goal that we can try to incorporate. And the fact that we're able to remove all of these buildings is just a big, massive bonus here. A huge bonus, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I really, really like this right here. I like it right up against the edge of the creek here, and then this pond or whatever this is. And it's got the little mini tree line going with it. You kind of go through the trees. It's got a bridge, so we can go over here and maybe buy these fields eventually. Yeah. Long ways away from now. There's no reason to even be thinking about it right now, but future, that's something I definitely would like to have. So we turned in those contracts. We're up to $9,752. It's now a matter of, do we want to do this harvesting contract? There is a cultivating contract that came out, actually. That's not bad. Another $1,849. I want to do this one because it's big money, but I just think it's going to take us an absolute eternity. Man, that's a huge field. That is a massive field. Yeah, I can't justify doing that with the size of the header we currently have. It's just not going to work. So perhaps we do the cultivating contract. Let's just see what else we got. We got a mowing contract, which is literally right around the corner from our house. We've mowed that field already before. 2 plowing contracts now. Now we've got some spraying contracts too. Spraying is... I like doing spraying and fertilizer spreading. You all know that. I think we're going to do the cultivating contract. Yeah, let's do the cultivating contract. Let's jump into here. Please, thank you. Alright, so how far do we have to go here for this guy? It's really far away. So I don't know if I need to go... Looks like we might need to go a different way than we would normally would. So when we get to that fork in the road there, I guess there's 4 different ways you could go. Normally we would go straight. Well, at least in the past we've been going straight. I also liked an entryway down there as well, right? Remember a long time ago, if you remember that, I talked about how I really, really liked the entryway to the field. So I guess we have a couple options if you think of it in that sense. But anyway, we'll go down there, hang a left, I think, and then we have to figure out how to get to 193. It looks like it's going to be a similar situation to what we just did, where it's Oops, did not mean to turn on a worker. Where it's, you kind of have to go through a yard or somebody else's land and track to get to it. It's kind of what it looks like, but I guess we'll figure it out once we get there. Yeah, let's go for a little stroll here and see what we come into. Also, the cars were giving me all kinds of issues. You saw Alfred behind me trying to pass me 19 times on the way to doing that sewing contract. So yeah, the cars are always a menace to me. That's why they have names. Or that was one of the worst contracts I've done. Just know my goal is not to leave these big, massive lines of mist stuff here. Although, obviously, we're already done with it, so there was going to be mist no matter where you put it. But I'm sure it was, well, I don't know. It might have been exaggerated, or maybe it doesn't look that bad in a time lapse. I have no idea, sped up. But this field, I'm making hand gestures like you can see what's going on. The whole tractor was bouncing up and down and up and down, like it was jumping off the line that I had put it on. And it was not easy to keep straight, so that's the reason why we have so much missing here. I also couldn't figure out how the hell to get over to this field, and I still don't know exactly how you're supposed to get to it. There's not really a track that goes to it, so you kind of have to drive across this field, understanding it's a grass field, so it's not that big of a deal, but there's not like a actual entry point that I can find for this field. So it's a little bit weird, right? It's and this one too, like all of these back here, there's not really, well, I guess this one has an entry point, but you know, this one, I mean, a lot of these don't have any entry points to them, so kind of weird. Kind of a weird location, kind of a weird spot there, but nonetheless, we did get it done, so let's go ahead and get the money there. Almost $2,000. That's very good. We definitely need that. All right, up to 11,602. Still not quite where we need to be at, but we are making progress, and evidently I should have came this way, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. That dog will not shut up over there. That dog is just constantly barking at me. Does not like me being here. Walter White's just staring me down as I leave. Anyway, so we're going to head back to the farm here, gang, and we're going to leave the episode at this point. If you haven't done so already, please consider hitting the like and the subscribe button for me. Both of those things are free to do, and they help me out an absolute ton. Member link is down below. Discord link's down below. Everything you need, it's all down below. Thanks for your continued support. Thanks for 7,000 subscribers. It's absolutely insane, gang. I cannot believe we're at 7,000 subscribers already. Crazy. On to 10,000. Let's hope we get there by the end of the year. I don't know if we will, but let's hope we do. And, yeah, we'll carry on. I've got a lot of other ideas up in my brain for the future, so stick with me. We'll see what I come up with next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.